November 16th. I am not going to be here. Right? Yeah, I am out of town. Presenting at a conference.
I guess that's not saying a lot.
I'm doing Crystal teacher.
Oh, yeah. That's also important. Is that at night?
Yeah.
Damn.
The what?
You kind of wish that they would like just ask and they said like, hey, is there any like things happening? Like obviously me presenting at K-State doesn't, that's not gonna be news. But like Chris Apple, like you probably should know like one of the bigger events is happening that night.
Yeah, it's okay.
Choose a different day, please.
It's okay.
No, it's okay. I mean, we already saw the preview of the meeting, so.
Yeah.
And it's good. It's a good project. Just like quiet it down.
Good afternoon. It is 1 o'clock, time for our regularly scheduled commission meeting. Madam Clerk, do we have a quorum?
Yes, Mayor.
Okay. Today's Pledge of Allegiance and prayer is by me, so please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please bow. Heavenly Father, we come to you today to pray for guidance and wisdom during today's meeting. We pray for rain to help our parched land. Please be with our first responders to keep them safe and ensure that all make it home safely. And continue to remind us that all we do here today, all that we accomplish is for you. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Next up is approval of the minutes. Did anybody see anything that needed to be changed or corrected? Okay, then they stand approved. Now it's time for public comment, and this is a time for anybody to come on up and give your public comment. You'll have 5 minutes, and if you do come up, please state your name, and it would be on matters that are not on the agenda. Okay.
Item 6A, the governing body is asked to consider and approve allowing the mayor to proclaim the week of November 13 through 17, 2023 as American Education Week in Garden City.
I make a motion that we approve the proclamation as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries, and I will be reading this at the event on the 13th.
Item 6B, the governing body is asked to consider and allow the mayor to proclaim November 4th, 2023 as Robin Marsh Day in Garden City.
Mayor, I make a motion we approve the proclamation as presented.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And even though we did have an event for Robin on Saturday, and I did read the proclamation there, I'll go ahead and I'll read it publicly so that it is on recording, because Robin and her daughter and her husband are in the audience, and then we will get a picture afterwards. So whereas Robin Marsh began working for the Emmaus House as director and faithful Christian ally on November 1st, 1998, and whereas Robin has since served the citizens, community, and less fortunate of our community and neighboring communities with integrity and professionalism, and whereas Robin has been a strong advocate for the homeless, less fortunate, and poverty-ridden in Garden City and surrounding cities, especially on issues related to housing, transportation, education, and funding. And whereas Robin assumed many administrative responsibilities on behalf of the Southwest Kansas community, working with other nonprofits and churches for the betterment of human beings, and whereas Robin Marsh will long be remembered by the city of Garden City as an ally in the effort to grow our community and improve the quality of life of all of our residents. Now therefore, I, Deb Euler, Mayor of the City of Garden City, do hereby proclaim November 4th as Robin Marsh Day in the City of Garden City, and encourage all citizens to join together to give back to the community in any way that is personally meaningful. Signed and sealed. So, Robin, if you would like to have your family come on up, or do you want to say anything?
I just want to be able to say thank you.
Oh.
No, you're fine. And know that you back the Emmaus House, and have somebody known you for many years. And just always keep Emmaus House in the back of your mind, and the things that we do and to help this community, but also to feed those that are in need and those that are homeless, to shelter them. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll use this as a prop. Yep, we're going to stand right there. Yes.
They're coming down for your own. We don't want to get away from you guys.
All right.
Mayor and Commissioners, items 7A through D are all staff reports. If you have any questions on any of those or any items you'd like to talk about, I encourage you to ask those questions now or bring those up now. Hearing none, we'll move on to item 8. This is our meetings of note. I guess the breakfast, if there are any of those that need RSVPs, I think the breakfast is the only one. If you could let Seelen know those, or Corey.
On there tomorrow is the,
That's true. Yeah, meetings of note, November 8th, beginning at 5 p.m. in Liberal, Kansas, at, I believe, Rufino's is the name of the restaurant, is it? Oh, it's Napoli's. Oh, yeah, the old one used to be called Rufino's. Yeah, Napoli's and Liberal, beginning at 5 p.m. tomorrow night, is a Southwest Kansas Coalition meeting. And that is open to the public because a majority of the governing bodies of both, or of all three, City of Liberal, City of Garden City, and City of Dodge City, are invited, and potential, or at least in the City of Garden City standpoint, we'll have at least a majority of our governing body there. Yeah, that's an open meeting, and it's tomorrow, November 8th, 2023, at 5 p.m. Good catch. Thank you. Item 9A, appropriation ordinance, which if approved would be ordinance number 2590-2023A.
I move to approve appropriation ordinance number 2590-2023A.
A second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 10A, the governing body is asked to consider and approve the following ordinance regarding the city's taxable general obligation bonds, Series A, 2023. If approved, this would be ordinance number 2968-2023. Jared.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. At the September 19, 2023 City Commission meeting, the governing body authorized the 2023 general obligation issuance for the following projects: the Kansas Avenue Widening Project, the City Cemetery Expansion, and the East Side Pedestrian Pathway Project. Today we have Brett Sjogren here with Steve Wolf as our financial advisor, who will present the results of the bids that we received today at 10 a.m. We'll also discuss the city's credit rating report from Moody's Investor Service. I'll turn the time over to Brett.
Thank you, Jared. Good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. Brett Sjogren with Stiefel Nicholas and Company out of Wichita. Good to be here this afternoon. As Jared indicated at a previous meeting, you authorized projects and authorized the issuance and sale of general obligation bonds in the amount of $4,945,000 for the projects he described. Excuse me. Since then, we developed a preliminary official statement and we submitted it to Moody's for that underlying credit rating. We had a conference call, as we usually do, with the Moody's analyst and Matt Jared. And as always, they do a great job representing the city. They reaffirmed your existing AA3 rating, which is an excellent investment grade rating. And they cite the city's trend of positive financial operations and solid operating revenues, coupled with the city benefiting from modest economic expansion in recent years and serving as an economic center for its largely agricultural surroundings. So, very good result. We applied this A3 rating, and we sent the bid package to a list of potential underwriters for the bonds, as well as we advertised the sale in the Kansas Register and your local newspaper. At 10 a.m. this morning, we opened the Parity website, as well as checked your fax machine, which isn't a fax thing anymore, but it's a legal way to do it.
Museum open?
We received 8 bids on these tax-exempt bonds. We provided you with the bid tab that shows the results. The highest bid was from BOK Financial Securities at a true interest cost of about $410. Next was KeyBank Capital Markets at a true interest cost of $4098. Commerce Bank was next at $395. Piper Sandler and Company was next at $3.95. Hilltop Securities, $3.897. Baker Group was the third best bid at $3.867. Robert W. Baird and Company was the cover bid at $3.809, and the best bid was from TD Securities out of New York at a true interest cost of $3.801386. You might notice the best bid and the cover bid were very close. They were very competitive, and so we got great results. TD Securities, you might remember last year, this is a similar situation, but TD Securities bid the bonds at a premium, which means they paid more than face value in exchange for higher coupons for cash flow purposes. For instance, in years 24 through 30, they bid 5% coupons, and for years 31 through 33, they did 4% coupons, but the yields on those bonds were between 3.55 and 3.76%, which generated approximately $168,200 in bid premium. Now, the city can either downsize the issue to help offset that higher cost, or they can keep all or none, or all or some of it as a project contingency to enhance the projects, or have a contingency in case of cost overruns. In discussions with Jared, he thought the benefit outweighed the slightly higher cost to keep that premium, just for contingencies on those projects and cost overruns that are possible. If you don't end up spending all the money, you put it in the debt service account and it goes to make the next bond payment. So we left the structure and the size unchanged. With recent inflation, the Fed increasing rates, the war in the Middle East and Ukraine, and bank liquidity challenges, it's still a very difficult market. But the city is still very well respected in the marketplace. Getting 8 bids, you typically get 8 to 10 bids, which is a great result. So you're very well respected nationally, but you're very well respected in the marketplace. And also turn your attention to the Steeple Municipal Market update that I handed around. We also picked a good week to market bonds. You'll see at the top, this is the weekly change in yields. And this is a 10-year bond, the 10-year AAA MMD rating, which is kind of the yield on a 10-year AAA rated bond, fell about 27 basis points since last week. So really, we're about 0.25% lower than we would have been last week. And 0.25% would have cost the city about $56,000. So we picked a good week. Maybe good
Yeah.
financial advice, maybe some luck.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll go with financial advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
But yeah, we had a great result today. We're very pleased. We hope you are as well. There's three action items for consideration today. 2 of them are in your agenda. One of them's an ordinance, one's a resolution. But Bond Council would really like you to formally accept the bid from TD Securities at that true interest cost of 3.801386%, and then adopt the bond ordinance and then the bond resolution. These items have been drafted and revised by your bond counsel, Mary Carson, of Triple Fulton Garrison, and they've been updated with the results of the sale this morning. And they formally put things in motion to get the bond issue closed and get funds for your project. With the acceptance of the bid and adoption of the ordinance and resolutions, we'll order the bonds printed. We'll submit the transcript to the Attorney General's office for approval. And we are scheduled to close this issue on December 5th, which is really not funds for your project. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
So the first action, Brett, is the acceptance of the low bid, which isn't specifically articulated on the agenda. So the appropriate motion would be to, for the commission to accept the low bid from
TD Securities.
TDC, and in the, what did you say, the relative interest rate?
3.80%.
3.80%.
Mayor, I make the motion, we accept the bid from TD Securities at the interest rate of 3.8013668%.
I'll second.
It's an engineering thing, you have to.
It's precise.
Okay.
It's,
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Now you're poised for the ordinance.
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve ordinance 2968-2023.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And 10B is the governing body being asked to consider and approve the following resolution regarding the city's general obligation bond Series A 2023. If approved, that would be resolution number 3063-2023.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 3063-2023.
Or, you mean ordinance number? Or resolution?
It's
This is the
Okay,
resolution.
I'm on the wrong one here. Okay, gotcha.
I'll second that
Been
motion.
moved. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Great, thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Brett.
you.
Thanks, Jared.
Pleasure working with the
Yeah.
city. We appreciate you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Item 10C, the governing body is asked to consider and approve the attached resolution allowing Garden City to participate in the Kansas Housing Investor Tax Credit Program for the Petra Residences Garden City project on behalf of Petra.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Commission. This is the second or third time I've been before you related to the next kind of three items. So I'll kind of briefly go through the background, and then if you have questions, I'm happy to jump into it. The first one is related to the Kansas Housing Investor Tax Credit Program. And this is for populations that have, or counties with a population of fewer than 75,000 people. This is for the Petra Residences Garden City project, which is generally located along Jenny Barker, north of Highway 156. And it would include approximately 130 units of both 1, 2, and 3 bedroom related to that development. This is the second time this applicant is applying for either the tax credit programs or the MIH programs. This is just for the tax credit programs, and the alternatives before you would be to approve the resolution, or you could deny the resolution. And staff recommends approval, and there is no fiscal impact, as this would go to the developer pursuing the grant.
What was the resolution number?
3064-2023.
I'll make the motion to approve resolution number 3064-2023.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item D, the governing body is asked to consider and approve the attached resolution allowing Garden City to participate in the Kansas Housing Investor Tax Credit Program for the Sligo Station project on behalf of Hawkeye Development, Inc. Resolution number would be 3065-2023 if approved.
Same program. This is for the Sligo project, which is generally located at 1801 Palace Drive. This project did receive MIH ARPA funding in the first round of funding. Now they're applying for the tax credit program. And as a city, we are able to submit multiple tax credit programs, which is a little bit different than the MIH side of the house. So alternatives are the same. Staff would again recommend approval, and there's no fiscal impact.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 3065-2023.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item E, the governing body is asked to consider and approve the attached resolution allowing Garden City to participate in the Kansas Moderate Income Housing Grant Program for the Garden City Apartments project on behalf of Petra. If approved, this would be 3066-2023.
So this is the one Kansas Moderate Income Housing project before you for this round of funding. It is their traditional program, not the ARPA funding that we've seen some applications before in the two previous rounds. Like Matt mentioned, this is for the Garden City Apartment Project, which is generally located along the 3200 block of East Shulman Avenue. And this would be approximately 140 units of studio 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units. The alternatives are the same. Staff would recommend approval of the resolution. And again, there's no fiscal impact as the developers will ever serve the grant.
Make the motion to approve resolution number 3066-2023.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Danielle.
The remaining resolutions are nuisance resolutions dealing with either motor vehicles, environmental nuisances, or tree nuisances. We'll go through the notice description on this first one, and then the subsequent ones, we'll just read the preamble and give you the resolution number. If there are people here that wish to speak on any of those items, they would need to identify themselves when we get to that agenda item fairly promptly. Item F, the governing body is asked to consider and approve a motor vehicle nuisance resolution that would abate conditions at 1003 Conkling. And if approved, this would be resolution number 3067-2023. Trent.
Mayor, Commissioners, go through this one briefly. Two notices were sent out September 11th, 2023 and October 12th of this year, 2023. An extension was requested and granted. Violations are still present, so the alternatives are to the governing body may approve the attached resolution, alternative number 1. Alternative number 2, the governing body may not approve the attached resolution. Staff's recommendation is to approve the resolution, which allows to abate it. Any fiscal note associated with this will be assessed as property.
And there was no other contact after that 2-week extension? You couldn't get a hold of them or anything, right?
Correct.
After that, okay.
I'm aware of.
Okay.
Make the motion to approve resolution 3067-2023.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item G, the governing body is asked to consider and approve a motor vehicle nuisance resolution abating conditions at 1211 North 8th Street. If approved, this would be resolution number 3068.
Make a motion to approve resolution 3068-2023.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item H, the governing body is asked to consider and approve a motor vehicle nuisance resolution, which if approved would be resolution 3069-2023 and abate conditions at 2303 North 7th.
Make a motion to approve resolution 3069-2023.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item H, no, that was H.
Aye.
Item I, the governing body is asked to consider and approve an environmental nuisance resolution, which if approved would be resolution number 3070-2023 and abate conditions at 2017 North 3rd Street.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 3070-2023.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item J, the governing body is asked to consider and approve an environmental nuisance resolution, which if approved would abate conditions at 1101 North 9th Street. If approved, it would be resolution 3071-2023.
Make a motion to approve resolution 3071-2023.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item K, the governing body is asked to consider and approve a tree nuisance resolution, which if approved would be Resolution 3072, and abate conditions at 907 North 5th Street.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 3072-2023.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item L, the governing body is asked to consider and approve a tree nuisance resolution, which if approved would be number 3073-2023, and abate conditions at 609 North Taylor Avenue.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 3073-2023.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item M, the governing body is asked to consider and approve a resolution abating a tree nuisance, which if approved would be resolution number 3074-2023, and abate conditions at 1610 A Street.
Make a motion to approve resolution 3074-2023.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item N, the governing body is asked to consider and approve a tree nuisance resolution, which if approved would be resolution number 3075, and abate conditions at 809 Jenny.
I'll make the motion to approve resolution number 3075-2023.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 12A, the governing body is asked to consider and approve publishing a notice of budget hearing for amending the 2023 budget to reflect actual 2023 expenditures. The proposed date and time of the hearing is December 5th, 2023 at 1:30 p.m. Jared.
Good afternoon again. So this is a pretty regular process. Throughout the year, as we complete our 2024 budget, we also revise our 2023 budget, and we identify any funds that we now project will exceed the budget authority that we established when we initialized our 2023 original budget. Most of the time, the instances occur because we didn't spend everything we intended to, and we have additional cash balance that carries forward. One in particular, community trust reserve, every year we amend this because we anticipate we'll spend everything and then projects don't happen in time and things like that, and it rolls forward. So the funds that will be amended for this year are Parks and Recreation Fund, the Community Trust Reserve, the Capital Improvement Reserve, the FinUp Trust, Airport Improvement, Golf Course Improvement, Health Insurance, and Electric Funds. Well, most of them consist of additional funding and expenses that come with that cash balance forward, some additional projects that are identified in the FinUp Trust, and then some capital expenditures that we decided to do that were originally in the 2023 budget. The authorization from this item would give us the authorization to proceed with the publication of the notice of budget hearing for these amendments, making them known in advance to the meeting, to the public, so that they may be informed and have an opportunity to come and speak to the commission on this matter prior to you considering and adopting the amendments. So the alternative today is the governing body may approve publication of the notice of budget hearing for amending the 23 budget, setting the time and date of the hearing for 1:30 p.m. on December 5th, 2023, or the governing body may not approve publication of notice of budget hearing and provide further direction to staff. And staff recommends that the governing body approve the publication of the notice of budget hearing for amending the 2023 budget, setting the time and date of the hearing for 1:30 p.m. December 5th, 2023. Our requirement is that we have to post at least 10 days prior to the hearing, so this would comply. We'll get it out the next week and have plenty of time for the public to be informed and be able to come to that meeting with any concerns or any comments that they would like to make.
I'll make the motion for the governing body to approve publication of the notice of budget hearing for amending the 2023 budget, setting the time of the hearing for 1:30 p.m. December 5th, 2023.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item B, the governing body is asked to consider and approve the city electric department to be the electric service provider for property annexed into the boundaries of the city of Garden City by ordinance number 2963-2023. Mike?
Yes, good afternoon, Mayor and Commissioners. Back on February 21st, 2023, excuse me, the governing body authorized the purchase of 143.17 acres, plus or minus, of real property located on Old Post Office Road, adjacent to the Garden City Industrial Park, which is located on Mansfield Road. On September 5th, 2023, the governing body annexed the city-owned property into the city boundaries with ordinance number 2963-2023. This city property was annexed into the city was within the certified territory of a retail electric supplier, specifically Wheaton Electric Cooperative Incorporated. Pursuant to KSA 66-1,176, the city has an obligation to negotiate for the issuance of a franchise agreement pursuant to KSA 12-2001 with Wheatland, since Wheatland was a retail electric supplier holding a certificate within the annexed area. On October 6, 2023, Mr. Jim McVeigh, Assistant General Manager and General Counsel to Wheatland Electric, notified the city via an email to me, Mike Muirhead, Director of Public Works and Utilities, that Wheatland would not be requesting a franchise agreement to serve the property annexed into the city by ordinance number 2963-2023. Also pursuant to KSA 66-1,176, the city is obligated to pay Wheatland for the expense of the retirement of any Wheatland facilities on the property and 2 times the previous 12 months' annual revenue that would have come with that piece of property. The city paid Wheatland Electric $6,670.78 from invoice number 15896 as required by state statute. This fee covered the cost of Wheaton Electric removing equipment previously used to serve a water well that was on that property. And then KSA 66-1,176 requires the governing body consider a minimum of 11 factors when making the selection of an electric service provider. These factors are, but not limited to, just the following: public inconvenience and necessity, rates of various suppliers, desires of the customers and customers to be served, the economic impact on the suppliers, economic impact on the customers of the supplier's obligation or operational ability to serve the annexed area, avoiding the wasteful duplication of facilities, avoiding unnecessary encumbrance on the landscape, preventing the waste of materials and natural resources, proposal from any electric retail supplier holding a certificate in the annexed area, and whether this selection is in the public interest as it relates to all factors considered by the city. The City Electric Department is presenting the 11 factors to the governing body for consideration, and their comments regarding the 11 factors are as follows. And if it's okay with you, Mayor and Commissioners, I will skip over all of that, and I'll just go to the end. It's in the record for there. So. I'll go to everything except J, the proposals from any retail supplier holding a certificate in the annexed area. Wheaton Electric made it known to the city that it would not seek a franchise to serve the property. And then K, whether this selection is in the public interest as it relates to all the factors considered by the city. The fact that the property was annexed into the city and that the city provides its own electric services within its city limits can allow for that consistent policy. A continuity of service by the city and the city limits can create a safer environment in the event of storm damage or physical damage to facilities. Police and fire officials would know that all facilities within the city limits are served by only the city's electric utility, and to avoid confusion and unnecessary delays in interrupting or restoring power. The governing body may choose to ask for additional information for consideration to make the selection of a retail electric supplier. So your alternatives today are: the governing body may choose to ask for additional information for consideration to make the selection of the electric service provider. Or alternative 2, the governing body may further discuss the 11 factors and consider findings of facts and conclusions about selecting a retail electric supplier at a subsequent meeting. Excuse me. Staff recommends that the governing body further discuss the 11 factors and consider findings of facts and consideration conclusions about selecting a retail electric at a subsequent meeting. We'll have that presented at the next meeting or one after that. Fiscal note: if the city electric department or other provider is selected to serve the property pursuant to KSA 66-1,176, a 8.5% of gross electrical energy sales revenue obtained from the property will be paid to Wheaton Electric on an annual basis for a period of 10 years. The payment to Wheaton Electric will stop automatically after the 10-year payment. And now, I could answer any questions you may have.
Mayor, I make a motion that we further discuss the 11 factors and consider findings of fact and conclusions about selecting a retail electric supplier at a subsequent meeting.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Item C, the governing body is asked to consider and approve authorizing the mayor to sign an equipment transfer agreement selling a substation class transformer to the city of Osawatomie, Kansas for $150,000. Mike.
Yes. I'm sure you've seen some of the press that went out on this particular issue, but on October 25th of 2023, the city of Osawatomie experienced a catastrophic failure of their main substation transformer and had large portions of their community without power. The city of Osawatomie, Kansas contacted the City of Garden City, the mayor, the city manager, the utility staff to see if we had a substation class transformer that matched the voltages and the size that they needed. After verifying the size and voltage needed, Garden City did have a backup transformer that would work. The transformer was purchased in 2014 for $185,652, and it was determined that in 2023 dollars, with an inflation rate of 2.5% on average, the transformer would cost $236,371. Depreciated for 10 years on a 40-year straight line schedule, that equals $59,903. The transformer was valued at $176,468. With the city of Osawatomie paying for the transportation and setup costs, which was estimated at about $25,000, and since it was going to another municipal electric community in Kansas, staff set the value of the transformer at $150,000. The City of Garden City's financial guidelines state that the sale or disposal of surplus equipment shall not be loaned or destroyed unless approved by the city manager. The city manager of Osawatomie, Mr. Brett Gledingen, I probably said it wrong.
Glendenning, yeah.
Thank you. Requested the purchase of the transformer for $150,000 plus paying the expenses associated with the preparation and transportation of the transformer from Garden City to losing my whole thing here. Or to be able to rent the transformer until a replacement unit could be found, and again, paying the expenses associated with the preparation and transportation of the transformer. Matt Allen, Garden City Manager, advised Mr. Brett Gleding that the Garden City governing body would be required to approve the sale. If the sale was not approved, then we would go into a rental process. This transformer was prepared for transportation by city staff and loaded on a specialized trailer that could handle 70,000 pounds that way, and it was over 17 feet tall. Panhandle crane and gear trucking, both of Garden City, mobilized on Friday afternoon on the 27th, and I might add in within an hour and a half's notice. They were right there. KDOT also assisted in authorizing the issuing of emergency overheight and overweight permit to gear trucking to transport this transformer 300 miles away to Osawatomie. I said it right the first time.
Yeah.
After this 12-hour trip, the transformer was delivered, tested, and installed by the city, Kansas Municipal Electric Agency, and Solomon Electric crews. And they energized the transformer on Sunday the 28th, restoring power to the entire community. This transformer was a 7.5 MVA with primary voltage of 34.5 kV, dual secondary voltage. The transformer has been utilized in different situations in the past here in Garden City, but with our continued load growth in the electric system, this transformer is too small to be utilized as a backup. If the governing body chooses to authorize the mayor to sign this equipment transfer agreement selling this transformer to the city of Osawatomie, Kansas, the $150,000 will be placed into the electric department's budget and utilized for the next purchase of a new substation class transformer that would better fit its needs. So the alternatives, the governing body may authorize the mayor to sign the equipment transfer agreement for the sale of surplus transformer to the city of Osawatomie, Kansas for $150,000 plus any additional handling charges that may be incurred, or the governing body may choose not to authorize the mayor to sign the agreement and direct staff to determine the daily rental rate of the transformer and charge the city of Osawatomie that fee until the transformer could be returned to Garden City. Staff recommendations that you choose alternative one, that would be to authorize the mayor to sign the equipment transfer agreement and the sale of surplus transformer to the city of Osawatomie for $150,000 plus any additional charges. And there again, in the fiscal note, if you choose to sell this transformer, then the funds would go into the electric department budget and be used later for a larger substation transformer. And I'm happy to answer any questions after all of that.
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the equipment transfer agreement for the sale of the surplus transformer to the city of Osawatomie for $150,000 plus any additional handling charges that may be incurred.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Osawatomie was very grateful just for the fact that the city commission would consider this. They made a special comment to me to reach out to Matt Allen, the city manager, that he was, acceptable for us to try to do something like this and helping the citizens 300 miles away. So,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all your work.
Thanks, Mike.
Yep, thanks.
I didn't do anything. It was
Right.
I'll scratch your name off here then.
That's right.
They didn't have to read that agenda item, though.
That's right.
Mayor and Commissioners, the next item, the governing body is asked to consider and approve the appointment of Jessica Montoya to City of Garden City Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. Tisha?
Good afternoon. The City of Garden City Commission is responsible for the appointment of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board members. The City of Garden City Parks and Recreation Advisory Board has 7 members. 6 seats are currently filled, leaving 1 open seat on our advisory board. They're typically appointed to a 3-year term in January and conclude in December unless the appointee is filling a vacated position. The available seat is for the term beginning January 21 and concluding December 24. Ms. Jessica Montoya has worked as an accountant for the past 10 years with experience in education, retail, administration, athletics, and business. Working at a nonprofit, Ms. Montoya has managed grant funds, and because of her life experiences, she has a strong desire to get back to her community and feels that helping Garden City evolve commercially, improve aesthetically, and bring entertainment back to this community or to this community would be a great value. The governing body may appoint Jessica Montoya to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. Option 2, the governing body may deny the appointment of Jessica Montoya to the Parks and Rec Advisory Board. Or alternative 3, the governing body may provide staff with further direction. The recommendation of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board is recommending the appointment of Jessica Montoya to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board.
I move that we approve Jessica Montoya to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item E, the governing body is asked to consider and approve 4 appointments to the Building Safety Board of Appeals. Trent?
Mayor, Commissioners, before you today for consideration, we've got a few different positions to go through. The background to this is the Building Safety Board of Appeals is made up of 7 members, very specific to what each member on the board is, starting with a licensed master plumber, a licensed master electrician, licensed master mechanical contractor, licensed residential contractor, licensed commercial contractor, a licensed architect in the state of Kansas, and 1 citizen at large. The terms have expired for the licensed architect, the licensed master plumber, licensed electrician, and the citizen at large. Desiree Miller has expressed interest in serving another term representing the licensed architect. Larry Lemming has expressed interest in serving another term as the citizen at large. Both terms are 3-year terms set to expire 12/31/2025. Harvey Brungart, the licensed master plumber, and Roger Unruh, the licensed master electrician, have exceeded the allowable term limit. Both have expressed interest in seeking a waiver to serve an additional term that will expire December 31st, 2025. We have 5 citizens that have expressed interest in serving on this board. The current 5 would only be qualified for the position for citizen at large due to the expertise in their background. The alternatives before you today are few. Number 1, the governing body may reappoint Desiree Miller and Blair Lovey to a new term and grant waivers to approve Harvey Brungart and Roger Unruh for additional term. Alternative number 2, the governing body may reappoint Desiree Miller to a new term with waiver, approve Harvey Brungart and Roger Unruh for additional term and appoint one of the applicants to the citizen at large. And number 3, the governing body may leave a vacancy or vacancies and solicit interest in serving on the Building Safety Board of Appeals. Staff's recommendation is for the governing body to reappoint Desiree Miller and Blair Lovey to serve a new term and grant waivers to approve Harvey Brungart and Roger Unruh for additional term.
Mayor, I make a motion that we reappoint Desiree Miller and Blair Living to the new term and grant the waivers and approved Harvey Brungart and Roger Unruh for the additional term.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
The consent agenda is item F1. So if the appropriate motion would be to approve item F1 unless you want to speak about any of the individual contractors.
I move to approve consent agenda item F1.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
We're ready for commissioner reports.
All right, Commissioner Dick.
All right, I was able to go to the president of Fort Hays State University, talking about the nursing degrees out here and the opportunities that they have in partnership with the community college here this morning. That was really good to see the expansion of the nursing program in Hays, going from 60 to 90 students. It's a pretty big expansion, and they have a specific program for rural hospitals. And trying to get the nurses into those. So that was really good to see. Was able to go to the ribbon cutting for Kohl's. That was good turnout and good to see the growth that we have in Garden City and the continual growth that we've had year after year. I know there's a lot of communities that would gladly have the growth that we have. So that was a good time. Had a good pre-meeting talking about the big pool and where we're at with those sorts of things and the progress we have and some lessons learned. And it looks like we're heading in a good direction there, and I appreciated the meeting this morning. And then finally, remember today is voting day, so make sure you get out. It literally took me 2 minutes to go in, vote, and get out. So no reason not to go vote. You got like 5 hours left. That's it.
Commissioner Cessna.
Yeah, just kind of mentioning the same things. Attended the ribbon cutting for Kohl's. Great opportunity for our community to create that regional retail hub for Western Kansas. As mentioned, a great pre-meeting this morning about how our season went at the big pool, our Garden Rapids at the big pool. And just lessons learned and things that we could do next year better to help make it a better experience for everybody. And my final thought too is just remember local elections are important because the people in your community represent you, and it's more one-on-one, and you understand those people, and you more face-to-face time. So it's very important to go vote, and polls do close at 7 o'clock this evening. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Commissioner Ortiz.
Yeah, just a few things. I did hear about Kohl's grand opening. I wasn't able to make it, but it sounded like they had a great turnout. So I would just like to welcome them to the community, and if they're gonna grow with us, just getting to know the community and how fast we're growing and how many people we attract. So thanks to Kohl's for dedicating the store to Garden City. the high school soccer team, I was able to go to the state quarterfinals and watch them play. Those boys are amazing kids. Their coaches have coached them not only in soccer, but just in their character and the way they handle themselves. It's just a great feeling to be around them and to just support them on the, they lost, but they haven't been to finals, I don't think ever. This is their first title that they were able to bring back to Garden City. So it's there, it's a quarterfinal. They made it to state. So that's a conquer in my book. So congratulations to them. Also, thanks for helping out our neighbors in the electric department. Mike, I know you said you didn't have anything to do with it, but Kent, who's working out there, the guys who were able to, put that together with KO and Junior, and I'm probably missing Bob, Ryan, Jose. Those guys were up and late at night and early in the morning to get that thing en route to Osawatomie. So thank you. Express that to them as well, so they know that we're appreciated of them. So that was a good neighborly hand that we were able to do for those folks. Also, like, the holidays are coming up. Thanksgiving is almost here. I'm always looking forward to turkey. But we do have the Kansas Food Bank, who is also, they've expressed interest here in Garden City, and they provide services throughout southwestern Kansas. So this is an opportunity where if you would like to get involved with helping families and things like that too, they're another entity that you can get in touch with to help those families through the holidays too. So one more thing, the fire station is out to bid, so that's exciting. So hopefully that everybody knows that's out there. If you'd like to get access to that and put a bid in, that is located on the Garden City website, and then also through Crossland Construction's website, so you can get those plans and put your bid in. So that's it.
I enjoyed delivering the State of the City at the Chamber Breakfast. That was a lot of fun to be able to look back on all of the things that we've done, or I should say that the city has done, that the employees have done. It's just been remarkable. And I didn't have 35 to 40 minutes, so I could have said a whole lot more than I did, but, time-wise, had to cut some things out, but it was impressive. And it's always impressive to see just all of the things that we can accomplish when you just sit back and think about it. It was really eye-opening, and thanks to the communications department and for putting that together and really making us look good. So thank you for doing that. I had a chance this last week to speak to the Avid students at the high school, they're 10th graders, and I spoke to them about United Way, but then I also spoke to them about being the mayor and giving them my own experience of being a first-generation college student and how important it was to my family that I went to college. And it really resonated, and it was an opportunity to get in front of students and tell them about the importance of furthering their education beyond high school, whatever that looks like for them, and having that opportunity, which then went hand in hand with yesterday being able to go out to the college and reading their proclamation that is recognizing first-generation students, which is what my button says, is that I am a first-generation student. And so some proclamations, all proclamations have importance, but sometimes to the person reading them, they have personal importance. And so it was I really enjoyed being able to do that. Then also to recognize Robin Marsh, who's been a friend of mine for 20-some years, to be able to do that for her. It was really kind of humbling to be able to stand up in front of a group of people and just recognize somebody for 25 years in the nonprofit world, which is unbelievable. Also attended the Kohl's ribbon ceremony and promptly added to our sales tax revenue. And so it was a very nice turnout. And I know that the community, if you tried to go to Kohl's over the weekend, it wasn't going to happen. That parking lot, I have not ever seen that parking lot as full as it was. And so I just kept going. I did also have had an opportunity to attend the American Gratitude Banquet, and that is recognizing soldiers and servicemen, and they just finished a camp where they work with soldiers who might have some emotional trauma or physical trauma, and this was kind of the culmination of their week, and so it was very nice to be able to attend that as well, and represent. I didn't think I was representing anything. I thought I was just going until the person that had the microphone recognized me as the mayor, and so all of a sudden I became the mayor. And but it was meaningful to them to have the city behind them and to have somebody there to recognize that, you know, what they do and what they've done for our country. So good week overall. So, and like the other commissioner said, please do get out and vote. You actually have time to not only vote, but to do some research. If you've waited until the last minute to research those candidates, you've got time. So anyway, with that, the meeting is adjourned.